waiting for the runners to get set up here. It looks like they're underway now. Yep. So what you'll see in the bottom left of both runners' Twitch, well, not the bottom left, on the bottom of both runners is a timer. It just started for Devil, and it's about to start here for Kaleva. This is the in-game timer. What that means is it's the time that we actually use to time the runs. So we don't use real time here because the loads take different amount of times for different runners, and it would be unfair if we gave runners with better PCs an advantage. So we had someone very nicely take out the loads for us, and there has been numerous small problems with that, but it tends to work out pretty well. The first thing you're going to see here is King's Pass. It's this little starting area. It's meant as a tutorial, so occasionally you'll see little helping, guiding tips. We just breeze through those. We don't really care. We already know what to do. Here we're going to see a hard fall. Oh, Kaleva actually gets a natural soft fall there when he goes all the way right. Devil will force a soft fall. What a soft fall is when you hit the ground from a high distance. Usually you're going to kind of stun yourself, so you'll hit the ground and you won't be able to move for a couple seconds. Well, about a second, maybe even less than that, but that's still time that we'd rather save. There is a way to make it so you necessarily get a soft fall at the start of this, or you can just kind of hold right and pray that you get a soft fall instead of a hard fall, and we saw both tactics here. Either way, pretty easy King's Pass. We're not going to see too much deviation in the runners here, mainly because the starting area is not meant to be particularly difficult. There are a few interesting tricks, notably Aspid Arena and, I don't know, Statue Pogo or something. There's not too much interesting happens in the very beginning other than Aspid Arena, in my opinion. And then a little bit of RNG. The first bit of RNG here is going to be this long room that Kaleva is coming to now. We're going to hope he doesn't get hit. And he does. Only once. And Devil won't get hit at all. So that's about a second save or something. Again, not too much to worry about here. Now we're going to be coming into Aspid Arena, and I want to see what they do, because I don't know what runners do in this arena. Everyone has a little bit of a different approach. Double spike from Kaleva? No. So Kaleva's going to go for a normal pogo. Okay, they're both going to just go for the pogo. What you can do in this arena, and what is much easier on current patch, is actually hitting the spike in the top left of this room. You can hit the spike and kill both of the Aspids, but it's extremely hard to do in this patch for some reason, whereas in current patch... Oh, Devil almost falling into the spikes there. Whereas in current patch, it's actually much easier. It's free in current patch. That brings me to the patch we're actually on is 1.2.2.1. The reason we use this patch, for one thing, we can do inventory drops, which is when you open your inventory, the game will uncap your fall speed, so you can fall as much as you like. We've already seen that a couple times, actually, in this run. Otherwise, you might be wondering why exactly they're opening their inventory. Kaleva had, like, a weird... Okay, Devil has a normal statue pogo. Kaleva did, like, a half statue, half Vengefly pogo. I think he went up another level, too. I haven't actually seen that before. Yeah, the other reason we use this patch, I'm sorry, is for lever skips. So we can actually hit some levers through the ground, because on this patch, Team Cherry kind of messed up how you hit levers. So when we do that, we can sequence break and get to places we otherwise would not be able to go, or at least get to them faster, so we can sequence break. Gonna be coming up to False Knight here. They're about a second apart. I don't even think a full second apart. They're neck and neck. Kaleva gets a good pattern. The Devil does not. So with False Knight, you want him to jump right over you, and the only reason for that is just so you can constantly be hitting him. If he's directly over, you can just jump up and continue. Otherwise, you have to chase him down, and that loses a little bit of time. So we'll see coming out of this arena how they do. Or boss fight. Not really an arena. Kaleva with like a 310, 311, Devil like exact same time. Okay, so they are very much neck and neck. Devil might have a lead in the order of tenths of seconds, but we should see them come up to Vengeful Spirit here. Will be our first upgrade, and they'll be about even coming up to that. Unless one of them misses the jump. You gotta hope they don't miss the jump, but it's always possible. Not that jump. Kaleva does a fake jump just to kind of, you know, practice. It's always good to practice your jumping in this game. For this moment specifically. This is a pretty hard trick. Oh yeah, Devil will mess it up. It's rough. There's a timing that you can jump, and if you jump before that timing, you don't jump. It's pretty complex. You should be taking notes on this. Anyway, this is Vengeful Spirit, aka Fireball, as I will always call it. What it is it shoots out a blast of soul. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense, does it? It shoots out a spell. I want one of them to do it here on this first guy. I know me and Pest do this, but like no one else actually. No one kills this guy for Geo. You People gotta start killing him for Geo. Or me and Axe. I think me, Axe, and Pest. I don't know. Anyway, we'll see it in a second here. What it does is just shoots out a spell in a line. It's pretty simple. And it will use 3 soul from the top left soul container you see. So as they hit enemies, they're gathering soul. Both of their containers are full right now. They're going to use it to kill this Balder. The Balder takes 4 hits, and we need to refill the soul on this smaller Balder that he spits. Luckily, both of them got what's considered first spit. They got a small Balder right away. That Balder can also spit little, I don't know, goopy fireball spit things of his own. If you get those, you cannot actually use that to gather soul. So, first spit, very nice. Completely RNG, of course. And both runners will be underway at the same time. And now, I'm getting a lovely difficulty where I can't see anything. Alright, that's better. Double benching. Okay. A little surprising. You don't really need the HP here. I suppose in a race, it's better to bench than not to bench. You want to have full HP, but not a particularly difficult area in terms of health coming up, and he can always heal later, as opposed to benching now, but, you know, his choice. In this room, they're going to be gathering 6 soul for the upcoming Balder, which we'll treat a little bit differently. That old Balder we had to hit 4 separate times. This Balder we can just completely cheat, move to the right, shoot a fireball from there, and somehow it hits him 4 times. Don't ask me, I don't find those things. I know they exist. That's about it. Devil doing the same thing. It seems... okay. It seems like I'm a little behind on the stream. I'm going to refresh the page here. Unfortunately, I can't see things for a small amount of time, but that'll be okay. I refresh the stream. Everything goes black, and all I hear is an acid dunk. Okay. So gauging on the HP, Kaleva just completely acid dunked somewhere. Yeah, they'll both be at full soul here. I didn't see the previous room, but the important thing is they get full soul for this fireball skip. So what the fireball skip is, Kaleva does it, I was about to say Kaleva does it very nicely. He was close, but he didn't actually get it. You jump up to the left and shoot a fireball behind you, so it... oh, he'll miss the backup too. And he'll inventory drop through platforms, which is, you know, never a good idea. I'm trying to see how they do. I want Kaleva to get this pretty quickly, otherwise we're going to see a pretty big discrepancy in time. What Kaleva is doing right now is a backup called... Good question. I don't know what it's called. Called this thing Pogo, where this thing is enemy, but I don't know what the enemy is actually called. All right, they'll finally get the Pogo to get up over there. Normally what you do there is what Devil did, which is a fireball skip. Devil actually does it again, where you jump and then use the fireball to both cancel your downward momentum and push you over to the left a little bit. We'll see if Kaleva can get it here. There we go. So it's not an easy trick at all. What you can do is either shoot the fireball too late, so you're too low as Kaleva was, or you can actually shoot it too early before you turn around. If you shoot it before you turn around, the fireball will push you back to the right instead of the left, and that's not what you want. So they're coming up here. It looks like Devil got rocks because he's at 129 Geo, but he could also just be at, like, naturally very big Geo and still going for Vengefly King. I'm not exactly sure what they're going to do for Geo routing. He's getting soul here, so I'm guessing he's going for Vengefly King. Oh, no, he's not. I forgot he already killed Moss Knight. Okay. This is Vengefly King. We kill him for money. He's very quick to kill if you know what you're doing. Devil does a nice quick kill. He misses a bit of money, though. Some fell off to the left. 190 is a little lower than you want to be here. Personally, I prefer to be like 200 coming out of this room, but it depends on how confident they are of getting Geo later. Kaleva on the right side will also be doing a quick kill and also be messing it up just a little bit. You can do that kill without getting hit at all, but it's not easy. So getting hit once and still killing him before he does this big scream is considered pretty good. Devil with a 745 entrance to Hornet. 191 Geo, though. That's something to take note of. That's pretty low. I don't know what his routing in Fungal is. I don't know if he's planning on stopping to get the Geo picked up from the Big Mantis. 191, especially for a race, like, you can't reset here if you don't have enough Geo. You have to find a way to get Geo. Anyway, Devil with a pretty clean Hornet fight. Hornet didn't give him the best patterns, but he got through it. Kaleva also not getting great patterns. What you really want to do here is one of two things. You can either kind of lock Hornet in the corner, where you just keep smashing her against the wall, and she can never get out. It's kind of rude, but, you know, it's what we do. And then the other option would be to try to get double hits. So if you shoot one fireball, you can actually hit her twice with the same one. It doesn't look like either runner's going for that, but mediocre Hornet fights. An issue with Kaleva's timer, he actually reset it by accident. So I'm not exactly sure what we should do here. If someone can figure out the time that Kaleva came out of Hornet, if he could start his timer now, it would be okay, but someone should be alerting him of this. This is not good. To be honest, I'm not exactly sure what to do here. I pinged him in Discord, but we do need a timer. We can't use real time. We could estimate real time, and if the race isn't like terribly close, it wouldn't be a problem. But right now, these runners still are close. Devil's ahead by a little bit, but we do need the timer from Kaleva here to tell where he is in the run. I think we should let the runners decide what to do on this. I'd prefer if Kaleva could start his timer as soon as possible, because then our two options would be either... Well, if Devil wants to replay it, I'd be fine replaying it. He is a little bit ahead, though, so that's a little bit unfair to him. And then our other option would be if Kaleva can restart his timer as soon as possible, kind of estimate the time that happened in between. And if it's not a close race, that shouldn't be a problem. If it is, though, we have pretty big issues. If anyone's watching, these two should be streaming. If anyone could go to Kaleva's stream and actually spam ping him that his timer stopped, that would be good. Well, I'm going to continue commentating as if nothing happened without knowing who's ahead or behind it all. Devil's going to be doing Mantis Pogo here. Mantis Pogo is a tough trick, as you will see, and Kaleva's actually coming up to the same trick. He'll do 3 Mantis and smack all of them sideways, which is not what you want at all. You want a Pogo to gain height, as they'll both do on, I think, Devil with his like 4th try or something, and Kaleva on 2nd try. I'm hoping when he picks up Claw, he'll look at his timer to see what's going on. Alright, so Kaleva knows his timer stopped. Kaleva knows his timer stopped and he's asking me what to do. I think what I'll have him do is just start the timer again. If we can get Devil in here, then we can ask Devil what we want him to do. Or what we want the two runners to do. Yeah, Kaleva doesn't know why it reset, unsurprisingly. I didn't suspect he reset it intentionally or anything like that. My preference would be to start them from where the timer stopped. It hasn't been too long since that. I think that was at the very end of Green Path, if I remember, where Hornet was, and go from there. Doesn't look like Devil's checking his pings, though. Alright, so Kaleva's going to start his timer. He'd probably be at about 10 minutes right now to give you some perspective, maybe a little past 10 minutes because he didn't have the cleanest Mantis Pogo or Green Path. So to give you a bit of an idea of where they are, if you add 10 minutes to Kaleva's timer, that'll give you a rough comparison. Again, I'm not sure if we're going to be using these times or if we are going to be resetting. I'm going to go under the assumption that we're going to be using the times with Kaleva, of course, plus 10 minutes from what his time now. We're not restarting him after he has Mantis Claw. So Devil's going to be coming up to Gruzmother, a pretty easy fight, again, if you just spam fireballs. Normally in casual playthroughs, you're going to be using your nail here, so it takes a lot longer, but we know exactly how much it takes to kill Gruzmother, and we do not have a problem just killing her with fireballs. Also, you may not have Fireball at this point, depending on how early you do Gruzmother. So Kaleva's going to be coming in here. The reason we need money is so he can buy Shaman Stone. What Shaman Stone does... trying to do the math if Kaleva... Oh yeah, Kaleva has more than enough geo. What Shaman Stone does is increases the damage output on your Fireball, or on any spell, except in this run we only have Fireball, so for the purposes of this, Shaman Stone is Fireball Charm. And it is by far faster to get it than skip it. A lot of the routing is based on getting geo just for that single charm because of how much faster it makes fights. We really start tearing through enemies once you have Shaman Stone plus this Fireball. Even with first level Fireball, it does a lot of damage. Now on the left side, Devil is taking intentional damage all the way to death. He's going to die and start a trick called Shade Skip. So what this is when you die, it spawns a shade in your place, which is this little black ghostly thing. We're going to hit it once to give it damage, and then we're going to come up on this wall here, and we're going to use its hitbox to pogo up and get some extra height that we're not meant to get. Devil does a very nice shade skip, gets it pretty early. We're not intended to be here right now, so we're actually at Blue Lake is what this area is called. If you can't read the Chinese, it's called Blue Lake. If you can read the Chinese, I hope it translates to Blue Lake. If it doesn't, you know, I don't know. I blame the devs for that one. They didn't translate it right. And then we're going to be coming up to Dreamnail. So the reason that we're going to Blue Lake so early and doing all this sequence breaking is so we can get Dreamnail and east side of City of Tears early. Dreamnail is necessary to kill the Dreamers, and the Dreamers are necessary to kill the Hollow Knight, and killing the Hollow Knight is winning the game, so of course, it would be pretty important that we get Dreamnail, and we want to get it as early as possible here. If we can get it earlier, we can kill the Dreamers earlier, and we don't have to do a lot of backtracking, is essentially what it comes down to. So I'm looking at Kaleva's timer now. If you consider this plus 10 minutes, it would be like a 12:20 right here, which is ahead of Devil. I don't think he is ahead of Devil. I think he was behind Devil by a fair margin going into Fungal, and then he had a bit of a better Fungal, so I think he should be pretty close to even with Devil right now. So I'd say maybe it's more of a something like a 10-minute, 30-second addition to Kaleva's timer if you want to get an estimated time between the two runners. Devil's going to be doing Dream platforms. This is necessary to get to Dreamnail. It's a little bit of a scary platforming section. If you fall, you don't die or anything, but it takes time for you to fall all the way down. This is a very deep abyss you'd be falling into, and then it will respawn you, and you'll take time to watch the respawn animation, and it's about 6 seconds in all, depending on, of course, how far into the Dream platforms you fall and what part of the Dream platforms you fall off of. And now we have Dreamnail. So 1409 Dreamnail for Devil. I'm going to see where Kaleva is here. Yeah, if we just add 10 seconds, he's going to be way ahead at Dreamnail. So I think about 10 minutes, my apologies. So I think about 10 minutes and 30 seconds is what we should add to Kaleva's timer. If you want to get an idea for in-time comparison. Yeah, it really doesn't make any sense, does it? If you want to get an idea for comparison between the two runners. Devil also going through Dream platforms. Different runners, including these two, have different ways of going through these. There is a theoretical fastest way, which I think Axe does, but it's scary and hard, so why would you ever do that? So now what we're going to be doing is coming down to City of Tears, and we're actually going to be coming an unintended way. So we're going to be coming from the right side of City. The nice thing about the right side of City is you can access the left. If we come on the left side as intended, we can't get to the right side. And we do need to be on the right side of City for Watcher Knights, which is the first really big obstacle in this run. Or probably the biggest obstacle in this run. So right now we're just going to be getting some soul and getting some geo. We need a lot of geo for Lantern later in the run, so a lot of this part of the run is just killing a bunch of enemies, collecting a bunch of relics, getting as much geo as you can. There's been a lot of work going into the routing of how exactly is best to get geo. For example, Devil is killing these enemies on the bottom floor, which for a long time was considered to be best. Now it's kind of debatable. Some do it, some don't. The other annoying thing about the room that Devil just finished and Kaleva is just about to come into, the first room of City of Tears, is it's very random. All the enemies in that room are random in how far left or right on this floor they spawn. So there's a lot of different patterns that you have to know what you're doing. Devil's going to bench here, which is nice for safety, and I think he needed it for 1 HP. He got hit in this room. So we'll see if Kaleva kills the bottom floor. My guess is he will. It's kind of the older strat, the more well-known strat. Takes a hit as well. Again, the hit doesn't really matter here. Okay, he will kill people on the bottom. Kind of bad spawns for him, but he'll get it done. The hit doesn't really matter here because we're probably going to be benching anyway, just for safety, and it doesn't lose too much time to bench. So Kaleva trying to open the stag station far too early. We actually come back here and open it later. As you saw, you need 300 G, which we are nowhere near right now. And timer abuse, unacceptable. You can't be falling in those spikes anymore. We also saw the Golden Husk kill from Devil's side. Not too much of interest, to be honest. We just do it for money. It's not a very difficult fight. It can be very annoying if she doesn't give you the doubles you need, but all in all, not too hard to execute. Kaleva will be doing the same thing. So Devil's actually coming up to Watcher Knights here. And Watcher Knights are the part of the run where we are scared. The Watcher Knights fight you are meant to do with significantly better materials than you have right now. But before Watcher Knights, we have this room, which Devil is struggling with. This is one of those lever skips I was talking about. He's actually going to go to bench. You can't see it, but what he's hitting through that darkness is a lever. So he's hitting it through the floor, which is a fairly precise hit. And it will open a gate that he's going to dash through right now that you're not really meant to be in here. And the game doesn't know you're in here, so it keeps it nice and dark for you, but the runners can memorize the layout so they know how to get through it. Devil's going to be going with full soul to Watcher Knights, which is good to see. A lot of times, if you get hit or don't take that safety bench, or a lot of different things can happen. You don't have enemies line up for you, you won't have full soul for this fight. And you can, of course, get it, but it loses a little bit of time with Dream Nail. So we're going to be killing that chandelier, We're going to be breaking the chandelier. It's going to fall on one of the... We have one less to fight, so we have 5 Watcher Knights to fight here, and Devil will be starting on the first one. You really don't want to see him get hit on the first one. It's the easiest part of the fight, obviously, because there's only one at the same time. And he's getting really bad patterns here. You want him to slash at you so you can get more nail hits off, but he is rolling around. It looks like he's doing pretty well, and he's dead. Actually a very slow first Watcher Knight, but he didn't get hit, and for the race, that's really kind of the important part. A nice triple there. When the Watcher Knights roll away, you can throw a fireball after them, and the fireball will hit multiple times. Devil's playing a pretty clean fight. He's not getting the best patterns. But it's working out. He hasn't gotten hit yet once. He's getting a few triples here. Yeah, and now they're slashing at him. He can get a lot of nail hits, a lot of soul, a lot of fireballs come from that. So not the fastest, but a pretty fast second phase and a pretty clean second phase. He hasn't gotten hit once. He has full soul now still. He's doing very well for himself. And of course, as I say that, he gets hit again. So now he might be a little bit scared. 3 HP is still okay here. Again, he had a very good start to the fight. All right, I should stop talking about Devil's HP, because every time I say something, he gets hit again. So this is being a bit slower. He's not getting nearly as many fireballs off or as many nail hits, and he's getting hit a little more. He just wants to stay above 1 HP, though. 1 HP gets very scary, and there, he's down to only 1 left. So he should be fine. Kaleva, on the other hand, will be getting hit once in the first phase, now twice. We might see him heal in between phases, I wouldn't be surprised. Especially with the soul, yeah. So he's going to go back to 4 HP to fight these last 2. I'm just checking when Devil exits the room here. It's going to be a 1903. And then Kaleva having pretty good patterns here. They're just slashing away at him, which means he can get all the nail hits he wants. Getting hit once, not too bad. He's getting a lot of fireballs off, a lot of damage. Another triple, quadruple if you count the other one that it hit. And more nail slashes for Kaleva. That was a nice Watcher Knights fight for him. So now we're going to go up to, I believe this is Lurian. This is the first streamer that we needed Dream Nail for, as you saw. We're just going to slash away at him. The run gets pretty tame for a couple minutes here. And Kaleva at 8:33, if you add the 10 minutes and 30 seconds that I was talking about earlier, they're actually at the same second. They are tied second for second, but of course that is an estimation. So I can't tell you exactly where they are. Another thing to note here is Geo. We do need a lot of Geo for the end of the run. 564 is pretty good on Kaleva's end. I'm not sure where Devil was after this fight. We'll see here as he comes out of the... Oh, 584. Devil is rich. I don't know what Devil's been doing, but he has a lot of money in his pockets. So this part of the run is not too difficult. It's a lot of movement out of city and then through Crystal Peaks. Crystal Peaks can be a little bit fun. Out of city, all we're doing here is collecting this last relic of the run, collecting some extra Geo as our reward for killing Watcher Knights, and we're going to be going to the left side of city to sell it to Lem. As I mentioned, from the right side, you can actually get to the left side through this little walkway on the top of the city that you're going to see them both going through. But the left, you can't get back to the right unless you set it up from the right side. So what they did earlier is they hit a lever such that they can now get back to the right side of city from the left side of city. So they have full access to city. They're going to be going over to Lem and then back to the stag station we saw earlier. Kaleva actually getting the relic first. I guess it doesn't make much of a difference. I've just never seen it. They're going to be going back to the stag station for Dirtmouth after this. But for now, we got a lot of elevators, a lot of lefts, a lot of falling, and a lot of Lem. Well, a little Lem. Just one Lem. So Devil's going to talk to Lem here. We'll get Lem back in his shop. Lem actually gets back to his own shop faster than we can get to it because Lem is a better speedrunner than all of us. Does not look, by the way, does not look like Devil actually knows about the timer reset. So we will see what happens at the end of the race here. It seems like they're both going to be finishing the race at the very least, which is good to know. Unfortunately, we can't actually use Devil's audio right now. I'm not exactly sure why. He might have music, he might have mic on or something. It just marks the audio as not usable for me currently. Anyway, as they leave, the reason they need all this money is for something called Lantern. What Lantern does is light up dark rooms. And not only does that make it nicer for us, because we can actually see the rooms that we're going through, but it is actually required. So there's something hard-coded in the game by Team Cherry that... Oh, Devil having a little bit of trouble here, but not too bad getting out of that room. That when you enter Crystal Peaks, there is a toll you have to pay, and you can actually not access that toll in the dark. So you do need Lantern to see the toll. Something that a lot of new runners or new viewers will wonder is why don't we just do dark rooms in the dark? But that is actually the reason. It is hard-coded. We cannot do it in the dark. And I'm honestly pretty thankful for that, because I do not want to do it in the dark. So going back to Dirtmouth here, we've seen it before. We passed Elderbug once already. We'll pass him again, and we still will not talk to him. We're going to bench here so we can quit out later. When you quit out either to the last hard save or the last bench that you sat at. So there's a lot of routing decisions that happen behind that. And we will buy Lantern from Sly. So Kaleva lagging a little behind here real time. In-game time, I think they're actually very close. I think it's a very tight race right now. We haven't seen any big mistakes from either of them. It's actually been really, really smooth sailing for both of them. That can definitely change at Umu, or even at Crystal Peaks if some of them make big mistakes. So this is the most annoying room in the run. Devil's coming up to Forgotten Crossroads here. It seems fine. You kind of want to get hit either 0 or 1 time there. Going in here with 3 HP is not the most ideal. We might see him heal. He will heal, okay. So you lose time to healing just a little bit here, but again, for a race, and for 3 HP Crystal Peaks, I definitely respect the heal in this situation. So Crystal Peaks is kind of a fun area. There's a lot of different things that you can do in C Peaks. A lot of different small tricks that save a little bit of time. The first one is poking this Lantern, as Devil does, so he doesn't go to the right side of that climb. Second is Pogax, which Devil will not do, and I hope Kaleva will do, but realistically I don't think he will, and I'm upset. Kaleva actually killing this instead of damage tanking, so he really values his HP here. Normally we just hit that enemy and run right through. And now Kaleva's going to be trailing behind, again in real time, just by a little bit, coming into C Peaks now. Alright, he's not going to go for God Pixel either. I'm upset. I don't do any of these tricks, so I can't talk. But I'm... Oh, Kaleva went to right side but didn't do Pogax. Sad. I'm hoping Kaleva at least goes for God Pixel here. If not, I'll explain it anyway. But I'm just gonna check. Please? Please? Aw. Okay, so you see them wait here, or Kaleva wait there just a little bit for those crystal crawlers to go all the way around the block. What you can actually do is on the left side of that block, you can jump right between the hitbox of one of the crawlers. So one of the actual enemies themselves have a hitbox, and the hitbox of the laser. So the hitboxes of the laser and the crawler don't actually completely connect, even though it looks like they do. So you can get what's considered God Pixel, where you kind of just jump right through them, and it looks really cool. Neither of them are going to do it. Another thing you can do here is under the platform. Devil does go for it, which is nice. It's a bit risky and a bit scary, but you can dash under that platform instead of over. It saves like no time, and if you get hit, you're thrown really far back on the respawn, but it's very fun to see. Oh, Kaleva having a lot of problems. A really cool save from him, though. So he went for Hamothity Ball, but messed up the inputs. He was about to get hit down into the abyss. But really good reactions and really good game knowledge there. To know to dash into the side of that platform, get his jump back, and stay safe there. He'll lose a little bit of time to that, but again, it was pretty cool to see the save, and he didn't lose a ton of time. So now they have Crystal Heart, which is this crazy dash ability you'll see Devil doing right now. It is necessary for later parts of the game. It also makes these rooms faster as we travel through them. The reason we need it is for Umu, which is the boss coming up. We can kill Umu normally, we don't need Crystal Heart to do that, but to get the Dreamer, which again is necessary to complete the entire run, we need to kill Monomon, and Monomon resides below Umu, and to get to Monomon, it turns out you either need Isma's Tear or Crystal Heart. And the game intends for you to have Isma's Tear at this point, but we can do this little thing where we grab on the side of the wall, Crystal Dash across the acid and get up, and we don't actually need Isma's Tear. What Isma's Tear does is it makes that acid so we can go through it. It makes it not toxic to us, so we can just swim along. A really clean fall by Devil, by the way. That was nice to see. But with this, with Mantis Claw and Crystal Dash, we can actually kind of just slide on top of the acid and never actually touch it. So that was a fairly easy one to just Crystal Dash over here. With a few tries, you could probably get this casually if you wanted to try for the speedrun achievement in this game or something like that. There is a much harder one coming up that is optional for the speedrun, but it does save about 40 seconds, so I'll talk about that when we get there. Before that, we have Umu here, which Devil is coming up to. Umu's an annoying boss. It's not particularly difficult to survive the entire fight, but what we're going to see here is he has attack patterns, and he is unhittable right now. So the reason Devil isn't wailing on him like he is with every other enemy in this game is because he cannot deal damage to Umu right now. We have to wait for Quarrel to come and make Umu hittable. Ideally, we only need Quarrel to come 2 times and do it, and we'll get full damage cycle off each time, and we kill him. That's considered a 2 cycle. It's pretty difficult, and normally we tend to see 3 cycles in races, but hopefully we can see it here. Umu is coming up to the platform. He's in a pretty good position. He's a little high, actually. Yeah, he's too high. So what we want is Umu to get stuck in that bottom platform, and then we can get a full damage rotation off where we can do nail hits and fireballs. Unfortunately, he was too high. Devil did not get much damage, and actually, the 2 cycle is dead for Devil, but a 3 cycle even is not the easiest anymore. He needs probably 2 Dream Nails here. He misses the first. He won't get the second either, so he has very low soul here. He's going to have to do what he can with nail hits to get soul. I don't know if he has a 3 cycle. It would be a very hard 3 cycle. On the other hand, Kaleva getting an extra attack, Umu kind of screwing him over a little bit. Yeah, so he's going to have a tough time even getting a 3 cycle too. 2 cycle is dead for both of them. But he has a much easier Dream Nail here. He can just hit the Dream Nails on Umu's in the bottom platform. He needs Umu to come over way to the right here to be able to hit him enough. Devil should get this, I hope. It looks like a 4 cycle from Devil. Unfortunate. And Kaleva actually did not lead Umu to the right nearly far enough, so he's going to be smashing him to a wall. Probably a 4 cycle from Kaleva too. And chat can feel free to correct me. I think Devil's at a 4 cycle. He might be at a 5. I've kind of lost count watching Kaleva in hopes of the 2 cycle. Yeah, there's no way Kaleva gets a 3 here. Umu's not been in a good position the whole time. I was wrong. I was completely wrong. So Kaleva does get a 3 cycle, which does save him time over the 4 cycle of Devil, the 4, I believe, cycle of Devil. And they're going to be both coming up to Monomon at almost the same real time. To give you perspective, Kaleva's been kind of lagging behind real time the entire time. And right now they're both talking to Quarrel at the same time here, so they are, again, even again for real time. Yeah, 4 cycle, it seems like chat is confirming. So they're going to be both wailing away at Monomon here. Monomon, second Dreamer of 3, and Monomon marks the beginning of a very, very scary, input-heavy, movement-heavy, difficult part of the run. So we no longer have a boss fight that's particularly hard. The last fight is the Hollow Knight, which is a bit of a struggle for newer runners, and you can lose some time on him for sure, but in terms of dying to the Hollow Knight, it's really not too much of a worry, especially for runners of these calibers. We do have a 5-minute section of like raw movement coming up here. If they go through Queen's Garden, it's a very difficult movement section. If they don't, they've kind of admitted to losing 40 seconds if they go the Deep Nest route, but it makes the movement very easier. So in a race, it is valid, but a lot of runners are trying to show their stuff and going through Queen's Garden here, as what we've seen through the previous races. Kaleva taking damage here. This is a section of the run, probably the section of the run where you most do not want to take damage. Taking 2 hits is really rough here, so he's going to have to heal at some point. In the next 5 minutes, we have no benches, so we don't heal at all. And there are 3 intentional damage tanks. So if you count it, you have 5 HP, Okay, Kaleva will lose a little time to benching up there. I don't know if that's faster or slower than healing, but it keeps his soul, so it's pretty good. QG on the left for Devil. First try, I believe. Devil gets it first try, so that's a very hard trick. It's like what you saw earlier where they Crystal Dash over the acid. Congrats to him. This is a much tighter window, and we'll see Kaleva going for it as well. He's going to take a couple tries to get on the platform, but he gets the Crystal Dash and jump. So very cool by both runners. Both runners getting it first try. That's a very difficult trick. It may not seem it, but if you try it for yourself, I promise it is hard. They're going to be coming into Mantis Arena here, which is another scary part. If he doesn't get... Okay, Double gets a double with the first Fireball, which means the Fireball hits him twice and he will kill the Mantises. He needs one more here. I don't think he realized he didn't kill the Mantis. There we go. So clean from Devil. Kaleva's going to be doing the same thing here. A nice double. Oh, that was a little high. He'll get the double. Yeah. So the first Fireball Devil, Kaleva, excuse me, on the right side of the screenshot actually didn't hit anything, and you'll see how much time he loses just to having to go over and slash the Mantis himself. He'll also lose a little bit of HP, which you don't really like to see. That was not an intentional damage tank. This is, as he falls into the spikes and gets respawned right next to this lever, as Devil did earlier. It will open the gate to the right here so they can get out. The reason we can do that is just kind of an error in the coding, so it's a hazard respawn that respawns you lower than it's supposed to. So Devil getting through here, he's actually going to heal back up to 5 HP after the intentional damage tank. Just want to have a really safe beast den here. It is a close race, though. Actually, to both these runners' credit, they're doing incredibly well. They haven't made any big mistakes other than the Umu 4 and 3 cycles. You don't really like to see. 4 cycle especially is a little rough, but overall, the racers have looked very good. They're going to be neck and neck. Mostly, Kaleva's about a room behind here in Queen's Garden, whereas Devil is already in Deep Nest, but Kaleva will enter right now. And then me Crystal Dashing over to Beast Den, which of this movement section is certainly the hardest of the movement. Normally, we only have 4 HP here, or 3 HP if you've gotten hit once in this section already. And Devil will show us 4 HP by getting hit again, but he will heal back to 5. But these runners for the race are healing to 5. It just makes it a little bit safer, making sure they have full soul, full health to go into this very difficult section of the end game. So Beast Den itself, as Devil is about to get to, is a pretty short section. It's only about a minute and a half. Well, not a minute. Maybe a minute and a half section, something like that. But there are constant enemies. So you have spiders at every turn, and the spiders are going to be moving up and down randomly on the walls, and they can actually turn around in the middle of their movement sometimes, which makes it even harder to predict. So we can't know where they're going to be. The runners just have to react to it. And in addition to that, there are also 2 intentional damage tanks during Beast Den. So what that means is they have 5 HP right now. That's really effectively 3 HP because they're admitting to losing 2 HP already. And we're going to see the first one here from Devil right now. We're going to fireball this guy 3 times, hit him twice, dash into him to take damage intentionally, hit him a couple more times, and then fireball again. Only with that damage tank can we kill him with him coming up to slash once. Devil, nice save there with the pogo and the spider, by the way. Kaleva will actually not be opting for the damage tank. Oh, I think he actually hit the mask by accident. So he is going for the damage tank. If you hit that guy in the mask as opposed to waiting for him to open up himself, he will slash at you, but you won't actually have the time to get hits in. Devil taking another unintentional hit. Kaleva taking another unintentional hit. Devil is playing it super safe, killing all of these spiders instead of pogoing over them. He has more than enough health right now. He might be curious. Well, I'm curious. I don't know how close he is to a PB here. He might be playing it super safe for that reason. He's not actually super far ahead of Kaleva as it stands. Kaleva, you can see, is playing a little more risky. Pogoing over these spiders and around the spiders. He's at 3 HP, but that's more than enough. He actually is a little low on soul, so because Devil was killing all the spiders, he had soul from all of the nail hits he was getting. Kaleva does not, but even without that soul, he will be getting through Beast Den faster. Devil with a very safe Beast Den, which is definitely an option, and Kaleva with a very nice Beast Den, going pretty fast through it, not taking much damage. So Devil with a 33-23 Hera kill. Again, we don't know exactly how Kaleva lines up here, but if we're adding that 10 minutes, 30 seconds I mentioned earlier, what was that fireball sound? He's about, 17-ish seconds ahead? 13 seconds ahead? I think like 13 seconds ahead here. So it actually will come down to this last fight, which will be the Hollow Knight fight, THK as he's known. They're going to be running out of Beast Den here. The movement to the fight is not terribly interesting. Oh, well, it is for Kaleva. He's actually going to have this guy back up. Normally, when you hit him in the mask, it'll force him to come out and slash you, which is why we do that. We hit him in the mask, so we know he's slashing us, so we can pogo over him. Kaleva getting some pretty bad luck here with the guy moving away, and he's actually going to get hit once. So both of them having enough geo. It's 250 to open this stag station, which is the last geo we'll need for the run. 268 may not seem like too much more than 250, but considering how tightly routed the geo is in this run, it is actually a pretty close time. Pretty close geo count. I've been talking for a while here. I make mistakes. They're going to be crystal dashing into the Black Egg Temple. The Black Egg Temple is something that normally in a casual playthrough you see at the very beginning of the run. We didn't because we know it's useless, so we didn't bother to look at it. That loses time. And inside the Black Egg Temple, we will have our final Hollow Knight fight. Devil's PB, by the way, is 37 minutes and 12 seconds. That is very much beatable. He would need a good Hollow Knight fight for sure, but he definitely could PB on this race, which would be very cool to see. So Devil finishing up, chopping up the chains for Hollow Knight here. He's going to have Hollow Knight roar at about 35 minutes even. Just about there. So with a good fight, he actually will PB here. So good luck to him. The important thing about this Hollow Knight fight is you want to be hitting him constantly. Also getting a double on there, which I don't think Devil actually did. Unfortunate. When he dashes to the side, similar to the Watcher Knights, you can throw a fireball, and the fireball can hit him multiple times. Kaleva's having counters. The other thing important about this fight to note is that you do not want to see counters, which is all Kaleva's seeing right now, who's on the right side of your screen. Currently, we're using the audio for. Because counters waste time, because you basically just have to wait for him to be done countering. I don't think Devil has seen one, and he's been doing pretty... Alright, I say that, and he gets a counter. He's been doing pretty well wailing away at THK, even if he hasn't gotten the most doubles here. He is getting constant damage, which is probably the most important part. And there is a nice double from Kaleva, actually. He'll take a hit here. He really has nothing to do with the bullet hell attack in that corner. I'm a little more curious on Devil here, even though they are both very close in time. They're going to get stabs at like the same time, which is cool to see. So the real time will be interesting. Because Devil definitely can PB with this run, and probably will PB with his run. Another hit here, Devil heals to full. And hopefully he doesn't get hit here. You can get pretty good damage off this attack, but it is a bit dangerous. Again, I'm talking about the left side of the screen. Scream Skip should be coming up pretty soon here. Okay, maybe I can't calculate damage. There we go, it'll be right now. Yeah, so the Hollow Knight actually did one attack instead of 3 there, slicing to the side, which is a pretty rare thing to see, but if he does it, it means that Scream Skip is coming up. So Kaleva will dash right into the Hollow Knight for no reason. They're both going to miss Scream Skip. When he screams there, you can take damage and intentionally get control back. As you saw, they were stunned for a little bit while he screamed. Devil finishing... I think that's a PB. I think it's like a couple seconds of a PB. And Kaleva finishing too. In terms of real time, they are both very close. Again, with the timers, I cannot conclusively say who won, unfortunately, or what we're going to be doing with this race, but it is nice to see both of them healing up the Hollow Knight at the exact same time. I'm watching Devil's timer here. It is red, so he didn't PB, which is curious. He got a 37:09, which his time on the leaderboards from 13 days ago was at 37:12, so GG to Kaleva for beating that time. Kaleva, I'm sorry. GG to Devil for beating that time. It does look like he has another PB based on his timer splits that we didn't know about. So GG to both runners. I'll see if we can get them in here. Again, we're probably going to need to do a little bit of discussion as to what actually happened with the timers. If we just add time to Kaleva, I think Kaleva actually ran a faster race here. I think if you just take the proper in-game time, if Kaleva's timer were working the whole time, I think Kaleva would be the winner here. But I don't know the ruling on I accidentally reset my timer on Hornet, unfortunately. Either way, though, a very clean race from both runners. It was really cool to see. A low 37 is a really good time, especially, again, for Devil, who's in the loser's bracket, and his PB is worse than that time. We are going to mark Kaleva as winning here, kind of preemptively. We'll see what exactly happens, and I will see if I can invite them into the Discord to have a little chat. If I can find them, which is proving to be a problem. Hey, how you doing? This is Kaleva. So that was an interesting race.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, so I guess I might have won, or what's the case?
Yeah, what is the case is kind of the question that we all have here.
Yeah.
In my opinion, based on what I was seeing, you were about 10 minutes and 30 seconds behind where you should have been with your actual timer. I think your claw was 10 minutes 30 or less,
Okay.
to be honest. And if we include that
Yeah.
time, you did beat Devil. So I think in terms of the race you ran, you actually did run a faster race. I'm just not at all sure what we're going to do about the timers at this point.
Yeah. I'm really sorry that happened, but
Yeah, it's no. I mean,
it was really surprising to me too, because I never touched my keyboard during my runs, and I have the hotkey there.
It was
And I
sabotage,
don't.
right?
I have no idea what happened there, like what triggered it. But
Yeah,
decent run.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it seemed like a good run. Not that we know the final
that
time.
Stupid green path.
Oh yeah, you had the you missed Hornet Fireball, right? The second one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The second one.
Yeah, it kind of gave you.
I don't know why it's so shaky on races. I already failed in the last race, and I was entered the room, and I was like, oh god, please.
Well, you
And
had
I
a
failed
pretty
it
nice. You had a pretty nice rest of the run. Like there weren't any big mistakes. Your Watcher Knights were a pretty good fight. Your Beast End was very smooth going through that.
Yeah, I guess I took the safety bench again on Watcher Knights, but
yeah, you got bullied a little.
Yeah.
Well, a preemptive GG to you. Again, we'll kind of see what Devil wants to do about this and what the ruling is on this.
Yeah.
But it was a nice race to watch. You guys actually in real time, you guys were about a second or two apart after the THK finisher, even with the amount of pausing you did at the Saluber bench. So it was nice to see the THK at the same time.
Okay, that was pretty cool. Actually.
Yeah, no, it was fun to watch at the end.
Yeah.
Thanks for racing. GG, I think we're going to sign off here. I don't think Devil wants to join comms right now, which is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Yep. Thanks for watching, everyone.
See you guys.
GG's, it was fun. See ya.
Thanks for commentating, Paul.
Not a problem.
Alright, bye-bye.
Bye.